Primary bond dealer Nomura warns death knell rug-pull imminent due to premature Fed pivot hopes and Halloween effect stock rally. If you don't already know, primary dealers are an elite group of companies authorized to deal directly with the Fed when it buys and sells U.S. government bonds. One of the world's largest investment banks is saying that Friday's melt up in stocks appear to be more of the same panic hedge unwound, vol-driven buying panic, as hopes of a pivot remain an overarching narrative, as rate trajectory expectations drift dovishly, with lower terminal rate and faster subsequent rate cuts. Even Michael Burry just tweeted, "Did you all just mishear a death knell as a starting gun?" What does that even mean? Burry also tweeted about Zuck. What does Burry think about Zuckerberg's Meta right now? Where does primary dealer Nomura think the stock and bond markets are going next? I will explain it all right after this. And of course, smash the like button. If you want to be my good boy, apply to write your first book with me. Welcome back to the Audacious Money Witch channel, where we talk about macroeconomy, stocks, bonds, and commodity markets. If you like any of these topics, you are intelligent. That's why you're here, and you know what to do, and push my button if you like what you see in today's video, because I can't push it from this side. This video is brought to you by my Patreon. If you are a good boy, go to patreon.com/magicalgoddesscheryl to add more meaning into your life. If you play your cards right and completely submit like my good boys do, then I will take you under my wing. Author of best-selling books, Goddess Cheryl. My good boys always get rewarded handsomely. Happy Halloween, everyone! Have you been a good boy or a naughty boy? Because I like good boys. I am a sexy cop this Halloween. You like hearing that, don't you? You want it to be real. You want it to be true. You need to be my client, don't you? Fun fact about Nomura, Japan's most powerful financial institution. It was granted primary dealer status in a lot of countries, including US, UK, Ireland, India, Netherlands, etc. Fewer than 50 firms in the world have primary dealer status. In 2008, Nomura actually acquired most of the Lehman Brothers Asian operations together with its European equities and investment banking units, making it one of the largest independent investment banks in the world. This is what they believe will happen next. We think that impulse rally likely fades into next Wednesday. Similarly, we do not think traders will suddenly start adding long calls now, as they didn't bother over the last few days. Therefore, we favor rallies above 3,800 as unstable and prone to mean reversion. Also, with Apple's $2.5 trillion market cap, it went up 7% on Friday. It does the work of lifting the whole market up and props it almost single-handedly, just because they didn't report a super bad earning. But their time will come. They just released a new iPhone. Sales always pops at the beginning, as all the rich people tend to order them just as they see them available. It's just the way they are. Next quarter, we'll see if they have demand issues. We are stunned by the arrogance and hubris of the recent flurry of almost coordinated G10 central banks. RBA first in September, then the remarkable BOC and ECB meetings this week, who have communicated a sudden new balance of risks. Central banks are making a big bet that inflation is being solved for an in-lagged and variable fashion through the past year's tightening efforts. In addition, the rollover port backlogs and freight and shipping, inventory bullwhip, disinflation, and simple base effect, trusting the market's pricing of forward inflation. However, the issue is that the reflexive nature of markets, where we anticipate the anticipators and take this pause, ease financial conditions by having this rally on the forward projection versus prior expectations, which in order to actually have the Fed's desired effect on inflation needs to be restrictive and tight through impacting demand on cost of capital and destruction of wealth effect. Accordingly, Nomura warns that markets may have shot their shot a few months too early. So as the Nomura concludes, reiterating his recent thesis, perversely yet again, the anticipation of what we all logically know has to eventually happen with the Fed's hiking cycle. That you can't hike rates at increasing magnitude forever. And that eventually the hikes turn to a pause before finally cuts to address the slowdown. Becomes yet another headwind for the Fed and other central banks who still have not yet slayed the inflation dragon. That premature anticipation of a tilt back towards easing then acts to stimulate wealth effect, which is not what the Fed wants to see and does not fit with any of the Friday morning's inflation-related indicators, all of which signaled no let up at all in rising prices. Crucially, the Nomura warns that there is another rug pull coming down the road. For inflation data will remaining problematic. Fed's window is narrowing. If they are unsuccessful at inducing a recession in the next year, they run the risk of inflation becoming entrenched. That will likely set us up for a decade of burning inflation like 1970s. Remember Michael Burry's tweet. If money supply keeps shrinking but there is no recession, then the velocity of money increases, creating a secondary inflationary pressure. The Fed knows this, and deep down they know they need a recession to effectively kill inflation. What does Michael Burry mean when he tweeted? Did you all just mishear the death knell as a starting gun? To a blind man on the Titanic, the sound of the violins meant the party was just getting started. We all know the Titanic crashed and sank at the end. Death knell is the ringing of the church bell immediately after the death to announce it. Meaning the start of this current rally will be the start of this epic crash that we all have been waiting for all year long. Meaning this time we can finally see the VIX spike high to 100. Because this will be the third time stocks retest the 20% bear market level. Third time is a charm, right? We will crash through it this time and have that 50% crash. How do I know? Because look at TLT on Friday. It was down. Well, all the stock market indexes rallied 2.5%. The bond market is warning you. This is the death knell, not the starting gun sound of the new bull market, because inflation is still burning red hot. Remember? Look at around the world. Italian CPI just printed a 11.9% inflation. UK and Germany both having 10% inflation right now. Speaking of stocks crashing, Meta just crashed 69%. Michael Burry tweeted about Mark Zuckerberg. He is saying Mark's obsession interests in metaverse gives pains to investors, because he basically compared Burry himself building guitars and computers, which is useless things to do to pass the time, to Zuck building the metaverse, which to me is not really useless, because virtual reality can really make a difference in people's lives. Zuck knows what he is doing will cause him to lose $100 billion today, probably more. Yet he still decided to do it. Ask yourself why. Is it really about the money for him? For most investors, to be a billionaire is the ultimate goal, but not to a billionaire for Mark Zuckerberg. Currently 38 years old. What he wants is to be on top, which means Meta will surpass Apple in the future. What the most Wall Street see is next 6 months, they can't see the future. Zuckerberg knows metaverse is the future. For a long time, I always thought a Facebook stock was a boring Wall Street stock, until it becomes Meta. Now it finally can trigger some dopamine release, like this Halloween night. Let's hope it doesn't happen prematurely like this rally. Now I'm going to show you my clients David Vine and Jema Ignite the Passion, Co-Create Your Dreams book. Such an amazing book. And my client Taddy Eazzy's Wicked Pussy Perfume erotic novel book. Taddy Eazzy is such a good boy for being my client. And my book, Rainbow Focus, another incredible book. And my book, You Hold the Magical Key to Your Success, another awesome book. All incredible books. Please order your copy today. You are such a good boy for watching my video right till the end. And please push my button.